In the labyrinth of X-Men lore, where long-lost siblings, secret identities, and resurrected heroes are practically routine, one almost reveal stands out for how much it didn't happen. According to behind-the-scenes chatter, one of the most iconic members of the team was almost retconned to not be a mutant at all. Let's unravel the fascinating what-if that could have shaken the foundation of the X-Men. Setting the stage, subplots and secrets in X-Men history. For decades, the X-Men comics, especially during Chris Claremont's legendary run, have been built around long-simmering subplots. Claremont was a master at playing the long game, planting narrative seeds that might not bloom for years, or sometimes never at all. This tradition continued into later runs, with writers spinning webs of mysteries, many of which were never fully resolved. And that brings us to Hunt for Wolverine, The Adamantium Agenda, a miniseries written by Tom Taylor with art by R.B. Silva, which was part of the larger Return of Wolverine event after Logan's high-profile death. The twist in Adamantium Agenda. In the series, Iron Man, Spider-Man, Jessica Jones, and Luke Cage investigate the black market sale of superhero DNA. The trail leads to a chilling reveal. Mr. Sinister has compiled a comprehensive database of genetic information on numerous mutants, including the X-Men. Just before Tony Stark destroys Sinister's data, he uncovers one jaw-dropping truth. One of the X-Men is not actually a mutant. And then nothing. No name is revealed, no confrontation, no fallout, just an ominous tease. The abandoned reveal. Kitty Pryde? In a 2022 interview with AIPT, Marvel editor Jordan D. White pulled back the curtain on what could have been. According to White, the plan, if you could call it that, was never firm. At the time, the X-Men line was in flux, with Jonathan Hickman about to take the reins. But as White explained, he had floated a concept for a future reveal. Kitty Pryde was never a mutant. That's right. The very same Kitty Pryde whose entire arc centers on her mutant identity and her growth from teenage outsider to team leader and cultural symbol of mutant pride was almost not a mutant at all. White explained his thinking. This wouldn't have been a betrayal or a secret conspiracy. Kitty herself would be unaware, making it a deeply personal twist rather than a villain-driven retcon. The story would explore what that truth meant for Kitty, if discovering she wasn't, technically, a mutant changed anything about her beliefs, her identity, or her place with the X-Men. Why it never happened. Despite the intriguing premise, the story never materialized. As Hickman's grand House of X/Powers of X vision took over, the idea was left behind. White brought it up briefly with Hickman and writer Jerry Duggan, but it didn't go further. The X-Men books shifted toward Krakoa and Mutankind's renaissance, and there was no room for a storyline that undercut one of its central figures. Even White himself acknowledges that this idea was more of a fleeting pitch than a solid plan. It never entered official development, and no scripts or storylines were written around it. Would it have worked? It's a tantalizing what-if. Kitty Pryde's journey has long been a symbol of mutant solidarity. She faced bigotry, fought for her people, and grew into a respected leader. Revealing she wasn't a mutant might have been a powerful statement on identity, that being part of the X-Men is about values, not bloodlines. But at the same time, such a twist would likely have divided fans. After all, identity in the X-Men universe is often tied directly to genetics, mutant powers, the X gene, and being part of an oppressed group. Taking that away from Kitty could have undermined decades of storytelling unless handled with exceptional care. Verdict: mostly false, but fascinating. So, was an iconic X-Man going to be revealed as not being a mutant? Technically, no, not in any official or developed story. But the idea was there, floating in the minds of Marvel creatives. Kitty Pryde, of all characters, was almost the center of a bold, existential twist. In the end, it remains one of those intriguing could-have-beens, evidence of how flexible and surprising comic book storytelling can be, even when the biggest ideas never make it to the page.